There once was a deck that duelists feared. The name of the deck was a Shizu tier. The winds went up, the fun went down. Oh, mill, my bully boys, mill. Huh! Thank God the ban list's here to end this format zero tier. All the duelists start to cheer until they saw the list. Ugh. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Keza, and welcome to The State of It, where we look at the absolute state of things in the New Zealand Yu-Gi-Oh! Metagame. As you can tell from the opening shanty, my thoughts on the emergency ban list are nothing more than a bunch of
stinky ways.
That's quite right, stinky ways. We've got a lot of decks to cover today from the past 2 weeks, a regional qualifier in Hamilton, a large number of OTS store championships which happened over the past weekend. But before we get into the all-important deck list, the content that people actually want to watch, I'm going to throw some stats at you. So these stats are from the previous 2 weeks ago Hamilton WCQ Regional Championship and last weekend's OTS Championships. We had 10 happen last weekend. I've got stats from a whole big 7 of them. Big 7. So take that into consideration, which I think like 70% of the results is actually like a really good pool of data that we can pull from here. So looking at the pie chart here, we can see of all 8 events that we're covering here, 13 of the top spots was taken up by tier element, and so that's like they either came first, second, top 4, or top 8. So huge amount of spots there, taken up by tier element there. Sprite as well. Sprite didn't actually win any events from what I remember, but they did take up quite a good proportion of that middle bracket there, like either finalist, top 4, top 8. So Sprite New Zealand, still a deck to contend with here. Next up, surprisingly, we have Sword Soul on 3rd place there. They managed to pick up one win. I believe they won one OTS championship actually. That was the Dunedin one at Dice Jar Games. Shout out to Paku. We will be showing that list as well. And then there were a couple of bits and pieces just sort of placings like top 4 and 2nd place there. So going into the next chart here, we can see of the 7 tournaments we're counting today, 3 of them were won by Ishizu Tier Element, 2 by Bestial Branded, I believe was what the decks come down, the person who played the deck list. They've been really secretive of the list, to be honest, so haven't been able to get exactly what it is. One was a Sword Soul and one was a Fluwanderees, and I believe that was in Nelson there. Checking out second places, we had 3 Ishizu tiers, so you can see clearly the deck's dominance here, but it's not exactly the tier 0 that we're seeing in other countries. Sprite taking up 2nd spot. Yo, we've got some cool man that played Draco Slayers. He got 2nd place at a regional. Sorry, one doesn't like to toot one's own trumpet. Usually get someone else in for that one. We had a Rika that came 2nd place, as well as an Exorcist as well down from Christchurch there. Then top 4 spacing, we've got we've got Tier Element, Shizu, 3 Sprite. This is what it meant about Sprite, not really a deck that's winning tournaments, but it's definitely taking a lot of the top spots though. And then again, we've got a Sword Soul and a Rocket Dragon Link there. And with that, let's get into the stuff that people really want to see. Let's get into some deck lists. So I'm not going to go through all the deck lists there because Shizu Tier, we know what it looks like, but we'll bring up some of the more interesting lists that have been topping or coming very close actually in New Zealand there. So first up, we've got mine, yeah. I thought I was talking about someone else, didn't you? No, my Draco Slayer list, 2nd place out of sheer fucking hubris from the Hamilton Regional there. Quite a few bits of change in there. Got to thank the Team Ghoul, I believe, who were the ones that came up with the basic list that everyone's been aping off for things, so that's been really cool. Wilson also topped with it's labeled as a Shizu tier, but it's playing a full Bestial engine, which cards just keep getting better and better, and as we can see that in the price of them as well, they just keep going up. It's insane there. Then we've got a couple of branded Bestials. This deck, pretty good. Lubellion is such a boss monster, but it sort of plays like a back row deck because you're constantly setting up openings, super polys, as well as the 2 new, I believe it's branded Beast, which is the trap that can pop stuff. And then we have Zhao Ming on Sword Soul as well. That was one of the lists that came top 8, I believe. So that's really cool to see. Seeing still on like main deck Ash Blossom, main deck Nibiru, main deck Dark Crawler, but I mean the deck needs it just to compete. Like the strategy is very solid, but everything's just moved past it. Cool. Yeah, one of the decks that I want to highlight here, very regional actually, 10th place, barely missing out on the top 8. We had Keelan playing dinosaurs of all things, scrap dinosaurs. And yeah, just blowing everyone out of the park. Like Conductor Tyranno is still a massive, massive beast of a card, eh? So it's like really awesome to see. Yeah, next up we've got one of the OTS Championship happening at Dice Goblin here in Auckland here. I believe that was won by Shizutir. Shout outs to Eric for winning with that thing, but like, yeah, list is pretty standard. One of the cooler deck lists, another second place deck list, believe it or not. Cool lists always seem to come second, eh? Never quite the win. But yeah, we see a Shizutir Brave with the Scareclaw engine of all things, and shout out to Connor for doing really well with that. Really interesting deck there. See like Droll sneaking back into the side deck. There can only be one. A bunch of like just power spells as well, and we see that he's side decking actually the gigantic sprite just to win in time with the by special summoning the red resonator there. So kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Then I believe like everything else just Shizutir, and we got Riley as well. Riley, Connor's brother, actually on Bestial Tier Element. So again, the deck just like doing what it needs to. Like Bestial's just super solid. On Cerberus Games now, Cerberus Games down in Wellington there. Again, won by Tier Element Shizu. No surprises. Nothing completely special there until we get to the second place list. And shout out to Nick Asprey. Take it second place at OTS Champs with Goatee of all things. Goatee, Fish, whatever you want to call it. It's really just Banish deck, and like it only gets like even better really with like the changes that have happened on the recent emergency ban list, as it were. Like they've now got like 3 D-Fish to play with, 3 Macrocosmos, so I don't know, like the card's more powerful, but I don't know if you would play it just because of how slow it is. D-Fisher, you can just play it immediately and like set up all your fish combos ready to go. So yeah, I think the really interesting thing as well is using like the old Supe Dawnwalker just to start getting level 7s to the board there, because I think one of the level 7s there that is, well, one of the Goatee Synchros there is level 7, so that's pretty cool to see. And then we just see hand traps after hand traps just to deal with everything there, and again more different dimensional ground. So maybe it would be like citing Macrocosmos in the future. We've got Maxi again, like still playing Dragonlink, but full Bestial engine. Stuff's insane. So it's moving sort of away from Dragonlink to more becoming a good stuff Dragon deck, because Bestials all at 3, 2,500 free bodies you just lump into the field. And with Magnamood as well, that is just, yeah, golden, really. And then fourth place, one of the Sprite decks that, you know, it's a bit different from Sprite because it's Live Twin Sprite there. Live Twin still doing its thing. We see they've got the Ibly for the Ibly lock there. Main decking Dark Rule no more. Still on enemy controller. This is still love their hand traps down in Wellington, eh? Well, maybe it's Wellington thing. Always play to the meta that you're playing, and don't just sit there and copy a list. Like, you do well, but, you know, tweak it a little. The only card I don't understand in the side deck is the Trickstar Reincarnation. Someone explain that to me, because, like, down in the comments, because is it just a meme? Is it just like, oh, like, just waiting your opponent to, like, search a good card, and then you go, look, buy, and then just that? Maybe? I don't know. Could be. I don't know. I don't get the card, but someone else is going to understand the method of the madness and explain it to me. So that's going to be cool. Here we've got Down from Dice, like going even further down the country there. You know, like that rain that's happening this week. Holy crap. Yeah, so getting wet and wild with old Paku and his Sword Soul deck down in Dunedin. So yeah, he's running the Bestial engine again. Do not sleep on these cards if you pull them. Magmoot is commanding its $30 price, so yeah. Got 3 Druis Worm, and then Veiler is the only hand trap. It's so good at shutting down Tier Element Kikalos, because that's really the fusion that they always go into, and it just starts all their plays going now. But yeah, Nibiru, Ghost Bell, Anti-Spell Fragrance, yeah, just simple, standard Sword Soul. Lockdown, Baxia Spin, goes first or second very well, and that's where you want to be. And then we've got Troy Reeves, good old Troy, taking out second place with our Rika deck. Yeah, I've got to hand it to you, Troy. You have graduated from the school of Gluru and you're on to Rika. Decks would, I think, are piles apart, but yeah, good. We see, I think the weird card in there is Trials and Tribulations. That's a card I've not seen since its first release, which I think it was released for when Hieratics were a new thing, like all the way back, like, what, 11 years ago? Are some of you even born? I don't know. But yeah, good looking card. Polynosis for going first. That's kind of cool there. Bring that back there. Just needs a plant on the field to get it off. But yeah, really cool deck. Really cool. I'm quite a fan of the Rika playstyle there. So yeah, that's some of the deck lists that have been winning around New Zealand there. So take care, guys. And as always, from everyone here at Your Move TCG, Stinky Wheeze.